Listen, it's a judgment-free zone. It's a safe space. And after last night, this show is therapeutic for all of us. And I think you said it there. This was more of a Pacers choke job than it was Celtics being clutch. And look, you have to give some credit. They did hit the clutch shots when you needed them. Obviously, the JB3 that you mentioned at the end of regulation, but also even in overtime, they made some big buckets. But this was a Pacers game to lose, and they lost it. And for a young team like them, that is devastating. You know, I would imagine in game 2 they come out flat. But I'll say this, going back to my Celtics in 6 series prediction, I don't really feel like I'm going to move off of that because you still just can't trust this team. Even with the win, even though they survive, they did not play defense consistently all night in game 1 at all. They played the Pacers style, and really we talked about this coming into the series. Yeah, we understand the Pacers can score, but they're really Celtics light. The difference is the Celtics can strap down and play defense when you need it. I didn't really see that in game 1 at all. It felt like a Pacers-paced game. There weren't big stops when you needed big stops. So turnovers from both teams, but more so the Celtics were atrocious. It was a sloppy – it was probably the most sloppy, high-scoring game I've ever seen in my life.
And it was the Pacers – they go up 69-64.
Yeah.
Celtics respond with a 22-6 run.
Right.
They're piecing that together and keep going. And then it was really, for me, it was like 2:20 left in the game on, where it was just a complete mess. Jaylen Brown missing a 28-footer. Nembhard come back, hits a tough shot. Holiday bucket, get the free throws. Nembhard step back, makes it 117, 114. And you have Tyrese Halliburton with his turnover under 2 minutes, just rushing up court and dribbling the ball off his foot.
He panicked.
Every time, multiple times pressing. But Nembhard's shots got the Pacers to that point. Mm-hmm. So it's tough on me to bog him on this one. But inbounding it off the turnover after a take foul by Tatum, Nembhard inbounding it, tries to get it to Siakam, and then it goes out of bounds, turnover on them. That sets up the JB.
Right.
Then in overtime, Tyrese Halliburton just has Drew Holiday stare at him, and again,
it
was a clutch defensive moment by Drew Holiday, but it's just like him in the presence, and then the lights get bright, and Tyrese Halliburton, again, just fumbles. Bad shots.
Yeah.
Awful taking threes. Like hunting for the wrong looks. You can go to the cup. You know, you don't need a 3 in a situation to take a lead, and he just kept giving it away and giving it away.
This is what frustrated you in the Knicks series, because I remember you saying, I was giving Tyrese Halliburton props for coming into Madison Square Garden in Game 7, talking trash, the Reggie Miller choke hoodie, the whole 9, and he had a big game to back it up. And you were staunch in saying, listen, bro, like the Knicks had nothing left to give. So now we see in a Game 1 on the road in Boston, you didn't have that same energy, Tyrese Halliburton.
He did. I mean, he hit that buzzer beater before the half.
Some shots.
Then he hit that ridiculous prayer 3 end of the third, and he was jumping up, talking his ish to the crowd. And I was like, and I'm watching it, and I'm enjoying it. I'm like, man, it's got to be fun to be like that much in your bag, talking trash to the crowd, being in the Garden, silencing them.
Right.
But those last 2 minutes, especially the last 30 seconds, under 1 minute in the fourth quarter and overtime, Nembhard and Halliburton combined for 4 turnovers. 2 each. And in the worst moments possible. And when Halliburton was guarded by Drew Holiday, 0 for 5, 2 turnovers when that happened.
Well, I mean, Drew Holiday, season high from him.
Let's get to him and Jaylen Brown.
Just as clutch as you could be, 28 points from him. Tatum did finish with 36 points, 12 boards.
Empty 36.
It felt like empty calories. A lot of those felt like empty calories, George.
And he was 2 for 10 in the fourth and overtime, 0 for 4 from 3 before he finally woke up. But like Drew Holiday, 28 points on 63% shooting, 50% from deep. Jaylen Brown, here's 3 of his last 4 games. In Game 3 against the Cavs, 28 points on 77% from the floor. Game 4, 27 points, 60 and 67 shooting splits. Game 5, 11 points. Off night from JB. Celtics won in spite of that. 26 points, 50% from the floor. 25% from three. And Jaylen Brown just showing up in the moment time and time again.
Man.
Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown. You're going to see Jayson Tatum with the 36. But those misses he had late in the fourth were ugly, man. Rushing. And he had that bad turnover, too, trying to hunt the Halliburton where Drew didn't come off his screen yet, and he literally just dropped the ball and got rid of it. He was pressing. He was panicking. He didn't want the ball in his hand in those clutch moments where you're so talented. Go to the cup. Attack. When you have number 0 matched up on you. When you have Aaron Nesmith. When you have Nembhard too. Just take them to the cup. And he wasn't doing that.
The answer has to be Joe Mazzulla. But I want to just ask the question, why is this team still so bad late in games? I don't understand for the life of me. It has to be Joe Mazzulla.
I mean, it is coaching.
It has to be.
Out of timeouts, after timeouts, he's been nails drawing it up. But yeah, like on the fly.
They are awful. Yeah. And they're not getting better. I mean, if anything, they're regressing late in games. I don't understand it. And we keep saying this. All of us in Boston has entered the chat. It's going to come back to haunt them at the worst possible moment. And we know it's coming. And none of us, I don't think, believe it's a series, although in game one, it looked like the Pacers may make it a series. But, boy, doesn't it just feel like, and you said this off the top, you get to the NBA Finals. You're finally not going against a Steph Curry, but you're going against some killers out west, whether it's Ant, whether it's Luka, whether it's Kyrie, whatevs. They are – I mean, if you are this bad late game, which they will be, there's no magic pill that can be taken, and all of a sudden the Celtics have late game figured out. It's not going to happen. One of those dudes, whoever it is going to rip your chest, rip the heart right out of your chest. They are.
What's the bigger stage? Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals against a really bad team like the Pacers, or Game 7 of the conference semifinals staring down the defending champs? Ant's been there.
Yeah.
What the Mavericks have had to do as well with Luka and that team matching up as well.
You know what?
It's these guys that are studs and have no problem with the ball in their hands when their team needs them.
Late game, Timberwolves, Nuggets, Game 7. Ant was having a crappy game.
6 for 24 from the floor, but kept pushing it.
But he kept pushing it. He locked down, remember, he locked down Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
He made the clutch plays. And then down the stretch, he hit some big buckets.
It's all confidence. I mean, the skill and the talent's there, but it's like the confidence that isn't lacking in the West. And you just see for the Celtics team, and maybe it is because they keep looking, as someone that calls it out all the time, the Celtics will go as far as Jayson Tatum takes them. Maybe it's Jaylen Brown saying, I'm done looking for that. And I know I've shown up all postseason long. I've been the best player, the most consistent player.
He has.
And now it's give me the ball in my hands because I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be decisive.
He only hit 1 3, and it was ugly, but it went in, so who cares?
It tied the game and sent it to overtime. Under 8 seconds left, he nailed it. I don't care about anything about that shot. Did not look pretty, but it went in. But it comes down to it where the Celtics leave this game feeling relieved. They pull out a win at home. They steal one in clutch time. Had to take it to OT, and they ran them off the floor in overtime. But you're the more talented team, and it was gifted to you by the Pacers. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton absolutely gave this game away.
He did.
Under 30 seconds left in the fourth and in OT, again with the bad turnovers. When you're facing the Timberwolves, when you're facing the Dallas Mavericks, and those stars and those teams that can defend, they're not going to give it to you like this that the Pacers just did. And